It's my 1919 Cadillac limousine that we're about to start up for you guys right here. So Richard's got his camera, and we're going to go start it up. I'll talk you through about how we start it, and we'll get her going.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Under the 2 years old, and they call it like 80 years old.
So if you look inside, since back in 1919, cars didn't have fuel pumps. So in order to get fuel to the engine, most cars had their gas tanks mounted up on the cowl, so gravity would feed the fuel into the engine. But since this fuel tank is in the back, like a modern car, there's got to be a way to get the fuel in from the tank into the engine. And so this car has a hand pump on it on the dashboard. Also, along with the fuel pressure gauge, you pressurize the tank to get the car started. And then once the car starts, there's a little one-cylinder air compressor on the engine that keeps the tank pressurized once it's running. So I just had this running not too long ago. So the fuel pressure gauge has dropped off just a little bit. So I'll pump it up a little bit. And the fuel pressure gauge is up. And this is the ignition switch. And now it's running. So let's go outside here.
A huge crowd has surrounded the car as soon as he made the attempt to start it.
So Richard, here's the engine. Obviously, it's a 314 cubic inch L-head V8. Cadillac was the first manufacturer to mass produce a V8 way back in about 1914, and they've had them ever since, for the most part. This is a 1919. As you can see, it's a flathead. We have a starter generator back here. So this is the starter motor in conjunction with the generator right here. It has a preheated intake manifold, so it's a jacketed intake manifold that sends water from the water pump and the water jacket in through around the intake manifold to preheat the fuel charge. Here's a regular distributor under this little cap right here. This cap actually comes off, and then under that is a normal, regular 8-cylinder distributor cap like you see on any other late model car. Right over here, right behind the fan, is that one-cylinder air compressor that I mentioned when I was in the car starting, right there. And that's what keeps the tank pressurized once the car is running. It has 2 water pumps, one on each side. Absolutely amazing. Ticks along pretty well. Sounds kind of industrial, but I think the top speed was probably at that time around 50. I've had the car to about 40 to 45, and it seems to drive along pretty good. But I've seen 20 fast in a car like this.
The thing that impresses me, assuming this has a giant bore and stroke, is what it is.
This was the they didn't do that until 23.
Wow.
So I've had the bottom end of this engine open, and it's basically a long 4-cylinder crankshaft. It's an even plane crankshaft. It's no offset journal. So it's actually an odd firing V8. And it still runs pretty good, but in 23, when they did the dual plane crankshaft, they of course promoted what a great running engine it was, and you know it's not even bad right now.
No.
So this is like a 2 4-cylinder engines by one crank.
They're very separate.
And it has the fork connecting rods. So one rod is here, and the other one actually straddles it like this. So as you can see, the cylinders are all in a line. They're not offset like a modern offset like a modern V8. So anyway, when I had that apart, I'd never seen something like that. It was really a neat deal.
Bruce, you were talking about earlier that many of these were used for staff cars, and you mentioned that there was a place on the front that you could put the flag. So why don't we point that out?
Here's the flag holder right here, a non-standard Cadillac item. It's not in any of their accessory stuff, so it's likely obviously added later.
And you've never seen another one like this.
I've never seen another Cadillac limousine like this.
So if you have a Cadillac, 1919 Cadillac limo, and you see this video, get in touch with Bruce. Bruce, how can they get in touch with you? What's your email address?
My email address is rice4pack@aol.com. I would love to hear from someone who has another car like this.
Hey, thanks a lot for starting it up.
You're welcome. Thanks, Richard.